This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by Anthony $1 Million Crolla. I can start calling you that now because Eddie's got this $1 billion deal with DAZN. I don't suppose you're going to see any of that soon, are you?
Not yet. I've not seen any of it yet. We'll see. Hopefully this year I will. But I'm just waiting on fight news now, so we'll see.
You're very tanned as well, Anthony. We've just been speaking about. You want to fill everybody in on where you've been?
Yeah, I was in Mexico, Cancun for 2 weeks with the family. So I went just before New Year. So I was over there for New Year, and I got back about 4 hours ago. So straight to the gym. About 45 minutes sleep. So yeah, I'm a bit tired now. The session was only a light one, but it's good to just get, try and break them all, sort of get straight back into it. And that's it. Over there, I was doing the odd session, really. I didn't do too much. But other than being really greedy and that, I managed to fit in a few sessions. So I'm not super unfit. I'm one of them, I always sort of tick over, do little bits.
I was thinking when I was watching you still look extremely sharp, despite having a bit of time off since the Yordan fight.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm always ticking over, as in, like, I think it's important to, and getting older now, I'm 32, so even more so, but Joe's always stressed the importance, and I say it to any young fighter, it's just stay in the gym. It's just, it's silly just being in the gym for camps, that's it. I believe that, it's your job. I remember hearing it, Virgil Hunter, he said it with Amir, because obviously Amir has a lot of commitments outside the gym and stuff, but he says when you break it down, I think he said something along the lines of, I don't know word by word, but he says, you're in the gym 30 odd weeks a year, so you're having, all the rest of that time, you're not in the gym, and that's the time, and I've always thought as well, that's the time when you've not got a fight date. It's a good time to be improving, to be working on new things. There's no pressure to be working on a specific game plan, so you try new things, and I enjoy it as well. So, like I said, I'm not, other than being a bit greedy for 2 weeks, all inclusive, I'm not a super unfit.
Talked about this greed. Define your version of greed out in Mexico.
Mate, I've got a sweet tooth, mate. I've got a sweet tooth, and there's a coffee shop and ice cream, cakes. I was visiting there a few times a day with my son. So I took full advantage of the all-inclusive, put it that way.
Are you one of them who will use the excuse, well, if my son don't finish it, I'm always here?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I like to say, I think you speak to most boxers and with greeder. I think it's used to when you've got to make weight and you're dieting, you speak to every boxer, and I'm sure almost every boxer will tell you how much they love the food.
Is that the difference what you mentioned about ticking over in terms of to maintain a world level approach to boxing, you need to be able to do that. You need to have that hunger to do it.
I think so. I mean, there's the odd few who sort of blessed with natural talent and can just do it, but I think that's important. Yeah, I think for longevity as well, it's very important. As you get older, sort of metabolism slows down, stuff like that, and you don't look after yourself, reflexes slow and stuff like that, and yeah, I just think that if you're a boxer, it's your job. Do you know what I mean? It's your job, and you go to work. A lot of people go to work Monday to Friday, so just do it. Even if you're not in hard training, just go to work Monday, Friday, tick over nicely, and then when your fight date comes, you're in a good place for when the hard work starts.
I saw how hard you all were working today, even yourself on your first day back, and the sweat that's dripping. In terms of like when other people, you'll see over social media, they'll be like, oh, you're a boxer, you're expected to do it. Does that frustrate you because they don't see behind the scenes?
I'm one of them where, like, for me, you get a lot of people sort of, boxers, we don't get bank holidays. We don't, but we probably get more days off a year than most people. So, you've got to be honest like that. But yeah, listen, it is tough at times. But again, all I'm saying is, some boxers might disagree with me, but nearly all jobs are tough. I've got mates who go out, they're up 6 in the morning, they're back 6 at night, they're working on a cold building site all day, and then they come home, a little bit of time with the family, and then bang, they go again. It's all jobs are hard, but I believe that boxing, a lot of boxers love what they're doing, and I take my hat off to those fighters who work, and when we aren't full-time professionals, that I can only imagine how tough that'd be. But listen, all in all, it does have its tough moments, and some of the sacrifices you have to make aren't the nicest, but I believe that those sacrifices are worth it when when you reach the level that you want to be at.
And obviously, your profession is professional boxing.
Yes.
We're here to talk about that. Your last fight was against Daud Yordan.
Yes.
You've had time to reflect. What have you learnt about that fight since? What have you looked back on? What went well? What went wrong?
It was a really good fight for me, I believe. Daud Yordan's a quality operator. He's been around at world level for a number of years now, and it was a tough fight, which we expected. Daud very tough. He'd come all night. He was very tough, and he wears a lot of people down. So I knew that I had to be in great shape for the fight, and I believe I was. I think it was fought at a real high pace, but we knew from the start of camp that's exactly how the fight was going to go. So we was really pleased with the way it went. Listen, there's always room for improvement, and sit down with Joe and study it more, and obviously we'll see what the next fight's going to be, and we'll look to how we go about making those improvements, But it was a satisfactory night, definitely. Yeah, we was pleased with how it went. Secured another world title shot. So no, happy, mate.
Secured a world title shot against somebody who is widely considered as the best boxer in the world, or if not in the top three, at least in the top three, I should say, but widely considered to be the top. How do you beat Vasyl Lomachenko?
Yeah, listen. I'm under no illusions how much of a tough fight it is, how much of a big ask it is, but I go in there believing I can shock the world, and I genuinely believe that I can find a way. But I'm like I say, I know people just write you off and don't give you a chance, and you know what? Fair play. That's their opinion, and I understand why, because he's super talented. But like I say, I'll just have to see what happens. I mean, at the minute, I'm not sure what's happening. I said sort of from the start, Vasyl Lomachenko is one of the superstars of the sport, and he'll go whichever way he wants to go. Hopefully we'll fight. At the minute, I'm still waiting to hear what's going on. Like, I know an offer's been made to him and his team. Hopefully that'll happen. I've just got to wait and see, but that's why I'm just in the gym now, ticking over, because then if a date does come, I'll be ready to go.
He has mentioned, that he'd love to fight over in the UK. Yeah. Do you think that it would be yourself, or is there somebody else in the division that he'd look at?
Well, I think if he was to fight in the UK, you'd think it'd be either myself or Luke Campbell, wouldn't it? I mean, me being mandatory for one of his titles would probably put me in the better position. But like I say, I honestly don't know. I'm a realist, and I know that. Like I said then, Lomachenko, obviously you have Canelo, maybe one or two other fighters, but he is one of the superstars of the sport, so I think he'll go whichever way he wants to go. Whichever fights he wants to be involved in, he'll do. So, I've just got to wait and see. I mean, you said, how do you go about beating him? He has lost once before as a professional. I believe that, so it was a bit naughty. He was punching low all night and he didn't make weight, but no man's unbeatable. No man's unbeatable.
You want to tell Floyd Mayweather that?
No man's unbeatable. He's not. He's as good as he is. They're not, are they? So, I'd have nothing to fear. I know how special fighter he is, but he'd have nothing to fear if the fight does happen.
So, in case it doesn't materialise, or at least doesn't happen as soon as what you might like, what has Eddie said in terms of a backup plan?
We've not talked about that yet. I imagine I'll know a lot more if we're speaking to you in the next week or two. I'd probably have to tell you a lot more. But honestly, at the minute, I think we're just sort of waiting with that. If not, then I'm not sure. Yeah, like I say, I'm mandatory for a world title, so I'm hoping the next fight will be for a world title. So we'll see how that goes.
Is this where you're at with your career? I speak to Liam and Stephen, have both said types of similar things. Liam, he sees himself boxing to 33, but he wants a world title fight. Yeah. Stephen, this is his last chance. Is this for you? Is this your last chance in your opinion, or will you continue to box? Or
do you know what? It's a good question. I was talking about this, and I'm just going to assess it fight by fight. Listen, I could be sat here this time next year. It could be all over. I honestly don't know. I believe, like I say, last time out, I had a good win against a world level fighter in Daud Yordan. So I've shown that, you know, I belong at that level. I believe I'm still improving. I love boxing, but then at the same time, I know boxing, getting punched in the head for a long time isn't great for the health. So, you know, you've got to be smart about it as well. But yeah, listen, I love being in the gym. I love the sport as much as ever. I'm as hungry, which is important, as what I've ever been. I believe I come in another world title, and that's my goal. So we'll see. Like I say, I'll just assess it sort of fight by fight. Like I said, I was 32 in November, so we'll see. Like I said, could be my last year. It might not, but it's just like I say, I'll take it fight by fight. When I believe that I can no longer do what I'm doing now, then that's when I'll call it a day. I don't plan on hanging around too long to get a last payday or two.
Where do you find this ambition and this drive to continue to come back and to want to have that will to win a world title again?
Do you know what? I think basically it just comes from wanting to provide a bit of a better life for your family, and also, you know, you get the support that I get. I'm very fortunate with the support that I get, and those nights, those highs you get, you know, fighting in the arena, people, you know, cheering your name and stuff. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning as well. And you know, I say it all the time. Boxing's a short career, and when those nights gone, I only said it just from the last one. You'll miss him. So, you know, you've got to enjoy them while they're here, and you've got to keep pushing yourself hard to make sure those nights happen. And that's what I'm doing.
We see a lot in sport, not just boxing, but when, you know, professional athletes retire, maybe a few years after they kind of find themselves struggling with mental health. Is that something that you've ever thought about, maybe down the line? You know, is there support systems in place in terms of, like, you might retire and then you might start to miss the sport and your mental health might go elsewhere?
I've not thought about that probably enough, no, but I do know I will miss boxing an awful lot, but I will stay involved in it, whether I'm, you know, training the amateurs, whether I'm just in here helping out, whatever it may be. I will stay involved in boxing. I'm pretty certain about that. But I'll miss boxing an awful lot, like the sort of just the competitiveness in the gym, the competition in the gym, and pushing each other. Something you've done for so long, you only write something that you love. You're only going to miss it, aren't you? So, but yeah, no, some boxers do struggle where to go, because, and I always say I believe it's because you get those highs that I've just been talking about, those nights, and you're never going to get them back. And I believe that nothing will ever give you those, no matter what drink, drug, or whatever, can ever give you that feeling of having those nights. That's just my opinion, you know, and I reckon a lot of fighters would say that.
So for you, would you see it more as a train or maybe a punditry role? How do you see yourself staying in boxing?
I'm honestly not sure. Whoever will have me. No, listen. I've done the odd bit of punditry, and I love it. Listen, you're talking about something you love. Like I say, I'm a big boxing fan, bit of an anorak myself, and I love watching boxing. So, but that, and I love studying fighters as well. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like I say, and I get massive joy out of spending time with the amateur lads, and, you know, seeing a young kid come in the gym. You know, I see it all the time, young sort of chubby kid, but not much confidence, and then after a few months the weight's dropping off and they're full of confidence and they're looking at having a fight and stuff, and I love that as well. So I'm not sure what I'll do, but I'll certainly stay involved in boxing some way.
I know you're a massive Manchester United fan as well. Yes. Any possibilities at some point you might link up with the club in, I don't know what capacity it could be, obviously not a playing role, but in some way? Have you ever thought about trying to link in maybe with MUTV, for example?
Well, I've been on MUTV quite a bit. You know, it's always great, you know, when the guys ask me to come on. I love going on. They're a great team down there. But, you know, I think that's the one of very few things that I do sort of to get away from boxing, go and watch the boys. as much as I can, and that's something I really enjoy. Really. But yeah, anywhere to take us or any invites, of course I would. No, it's after, like you say, you know, the boxing, time with your family, United, like you say, I get there home and away as much as I can.
I know you like to follow them abroad as well in the Champions League or Europa League.
Yes, whichever.
Is that something that you'll be looking to do more of eventually?
Yes, yeah, I will do. I'll probably enjoy it a bit more with the lads. I have a drink with the lads and that. But I did go to Valencia via Benidorm in December. So yeah, no, we'll see. I think that I'll probably have to miss Paris because it's March and the weight will fall. I'm hoping I'll be in camp then. So we'll just see. But hopefully we'll come through that and it'll work out well for the next round.
So you're hoping you'll have fought by then, so then you can get out there.
Yeah, be the quarters then, won't it? Yeah, so hopefully we'll, knowing my luck, we'll probably get one of the English clubs. But yeah, hopefully a nice European trip.
And you also, like we've mentioned, you're back in the gym. The other gym mates that you've got, Stephen Smith, Liam Smith making the move over to Matchroom, and Callum, who's just had his daughter. How are they all looking in the gym?
Listen, I think, like I said, the gym, everyone gets on great here. It's like one big family, and whether it be Liam or Callum, who's just had a huge win, you know, down to Sam, Tasha, everyone's just pushing each other, trying to get the best out of each other. And no, they're looking great, like you say. Callum is spending a bit of time with his little girl, well deserved after the great year that he had, you know, last year. But it's a big year for the gym, like you say. Liam, he's looking for world titles. Callum Johnson, but everyone, you know, go through them all. Obviously, Stephen's just back in the gym today. Sam's going to bounce back, but like, everyone's just looking, you know, to be involved in big fights. And obviously, some of the lads there now they've been world champions, and we're looking for another crack at a world title.
This is my first time in the gym where I've seen everybody together.
Good to have you.
Thank you. It's been great to be invited down here. But in terms of, you know, all of you guys, is this maybe the best that you've felt in terms of the atmosphere in and around the gym?
Listen, obviously there's 4 of us, no 5 of us, 5 of us today, and I love the atmosphere down here. Like, I genuinely mean it when I don't know, there's about 8, 9 of us or something. Every lad and Tasha, everyone gets on. There's not one who doesn't get on with the other, and there's always, you know, always pushing each other on and wanting the best for that person. I genuinely mean that. There's, everyone gets on well, and I think that's something that Joe always says when taking on someone new. He's got to think if they'll fit in with everyone else, because that's important to him.
Does it bring an extra rivalry amongst yourselves as well, to maybe always wants to get one up on the other?
Of course, it's friendly competition, but it's good. I think that's what you need, and sometimes it can get fierce, but that's what you need, sort of, in the gym to push yourself. Like you say, we have a laugh and stuff like that, but when we know when the time to work hard comes, that's what we'll do.
And just want to touch on Callum. Obviously, I mentioned he's got a little girl who's just arrived. He's been rumoured to be fighting at Anfield, possible Canelo or Andre Ward fights. What are your thoughts on those possible names being linked with him?
I think they're the names that Callum should go for. He's got everything at super middleweight. He's the man to beat at super middleweight. So why not? I think, and obviously, as much as it's not my favourite place in the world, Callum's a Liverpool fan, so it'd be brilliant for him to fight there at Anfield. It's not very often I'd be wanting someone from Liverpool to win at Anfield, but other than Rooney, other than when Wayne's, I know he's never Evertonian, but we've cheered him on when he scored there, or when he's played for the boys. But no, Callum, that's the perfect. You won't get bigger than that. I mean, I know what he won, but I mean, to fight at Anfield, defending those against possibly one of those 2 names you mentioned, he's ridiculous. You know, he doesn't get any bigger than that.
You said you don't really see you don't like to see Liverpool win at Anfield often, but who would you like to see win the league, Liverpool or Man City?
Mate, without a doubt, I'd pick Manchester City over Liverpool winning the league, mate. And any Manchester United fan will tell you that.
Why is that?
Mate, it's just the right. Obviously, listen, City obviously rivaling that, but the Manchester United-Liverpool rivalry goes way back, and they'll tell you the same. I think they would, they'd rather Everton win the league than us. I think, you'd have to ask him, but I think.
And whilst I'm down here as well, Amir Khan Academy, his fight with Terence Crawford is going to be formally announced tomorrow at press conference. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it's in every credit to Amir. For me, you mentioned before, Crawford's probably my number one pound for pound fighter. A lot of people say it's out of him, Lomachenko, the Canelo up there as well, isn't it? Them three, but for me, Crawford I think he's amazing. All three of them can do it all, but I'm a massive Crawford fan, and it's a tough ask for Amir, but always every credit to him. He's always fought the best out there, and hopefully he can pull off a shock. But there's no doubt in how tough it will be. But Amir, if he can find that form, that the best Amir can, he's got a chance with anyone.
Where does this leave Cal Brook?
I think Kel's, it's people go on about, I've mentioned that, but Kel's world rated, and I believe there's a world title fight only around the corner for him. I've never really thought this fight's going to happen, Amir and Kel. It might do, but I don't think it will happen after this, no matter anyway. But the Kel's, is super talented, and I think you would give him a decent chance with any light middleweight champion. He'd certainly be. He might even be an underdog with a few of them, but he'd be a live underdog. And I think Kel's super talented, and I think that he can win another world title.
I just wanted to touch on the heavyweight division. There's been a lot of rumours floating about that there's a possible return of Vladimir Klitshcko to fight Dillian Whyte on that April 13th night instead of Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts on that one?
I've only seen a little bit of it, but yeah, we'll see. And I think that's one Dillian, he deserves that big fight. He's sort of been a lot of messing around sort of with the WBC shot for that title, and now he's mandatory for AJ, isn't it?
No, but I think it's...
No. Purewal is going to be, yes. So he's just been around sort of knocking on the door, anti-eliminators, final eliminators, sorry, I got it wrong, yeah. He's, but he's been, hopefully he gets a shot. If not, then the Vladimir Klitshko fight is a huge fight. What do you think might be coming back? I'm not so sure. It's been a few years now since the Anthony Joshua fight, but he's a very clever man, and I don't think he would come back if he didn't believe, if he felt like he dropped off. If he felt like he dropped off and couldn't do what he done, I couldn't see Vladimir Klitschko doing that. He's too smart of a guy to do it, but we'll see how it unfolds.
AJ is coming for a bit of criticism over social media, not really for any fault of his own, but it's been because of the fact that Wilder Fury fought. Everybody's saying they want to see him in with one of them now to prove he's the best. Yeah. What have you thought on that criticism, and do you think we will see a fight there?
That's what, unfortunately, sometimes this country happens. Like, Anthony Joshua he's been sort of the nation's hero a lot of the time, for the past few years, but now there's a few people turning, and he's not done anything wrong at all. It's just the way it works sometimes, but I think hopefully, we all want to see that fight. We all want to see one of those fights. I mean, for me, there was no doubt he won the Wilder Fury fight. Tyson Fury, I think in everyone's opinion, done enough to win that. So for me, it'd be good to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it can happen. I'm sure Anthony Joshua wants those fights to happen.
Well, Anthony, I'm going to be very tired now. You're going to get back and have a bit of rest and have some more food.
I had a bit of an hour's sleep, and then... in the gym tonight.
Back in the gym tonight?
Yeah, actually, I'm only training the young guns, though. Training the young guns, but I might get involved a bit, we'll see.
Well, Anthony, I appreciate your time and hanging around. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No worries, man. Sound. Take care.